Memes. These small units of cultural information surround us everywhere, from funny pictures with captions to viral videos, from witty phrases to absurd collages. In the 21st century, memes have become more than just entertainment. They have transformed into a full-fledged language of digital communication, understandable to billions of people worldwide. But how did this cultural revolution happen? The term meme was first proposed by biologist Richard Dawkins back in the 70s, comparing the spread of ideas to genetic information. However, memes truly flourished with the advent of the internet. From primitive faces on 90s forums to sophisticated multi-layered jokes in modern social networks, digital humor has evolved alongside technology. Today, memes are not just jokes. They are a means of self-expression, a tool for communication, and even a form of art. They reflect current events, comment on social phenomena, and unite people of different ages, professions, and cultures. Why can a simple picture with a caption evoke uncontrollable laughter? Behind this seemingly simple reaction lie complex psychological mechanisms. When we see a meme, our brain simultaneously processes visual information and text, creating unexpected connections between them. It is this contrast that often becomes the source of humor. Psychologists call this the incongruity theory. We laugh when expectations are suddenly violated. Memes masterfully play on this effect, offering unexpected resolutions to familiar situations. But it's not just about the humor itself. Memes create a powerful emotional resonance due to their recognizability. When we understand a reference or the context of a joke, we experience pleasure from belonging to the group of, quote, one. Thus, a release of dopamine, the pleasure hormone. The viral spread of memes is explained by their emotional charge. Content that evokes strong emotions, be it laughter, surprise, or even indignation, has a greater chance of being passed on. We share memes to share emotions. It's a kind of digital empathy, a way of saying, I feel the same way you do. At the same time, memes perform an important social function as identity markers. Understanding certain memes signals belonging to specific communities, from gamers to lovers of classical literature. We use them as a kind of password, instantly identifying our own "Okay, boomer" and "That's based" phrases from different eras, but today they exist in a single digital space. An amazing phenomenon, memes have become a bridge between generations, overcoming age barriers and creating a common language for people of different ages. Parents and children, grandparents and grandchildren, all of them can find common ground in the world of digital humor. How does this happen? Each generation has its own cultural baggage and experience, which shapes its sense of humor. Boomers grew up on jokes from newspapers and the magazine Crocodile, millennials on early internet forums, and Zoomers in the era of TikTok and Instagram. It would seem the chasm is insurmountable. However, memes possess an amazing ability to adapt and transform, resonating with people of different ages. Take, for example, memes about everyday situations. They are understandable to everyone who has encountered queues, bureaucracy, or family holidays. Jokes about workdays unite the experiences of different generations of employees. Even specific memes can become an entry point into the world of another generation. When a parent inquires about a child's incomprehensible joke, a cultural exchange occurs. The child explains the context, the parent gets a window into the world of modern youth. And vice versa. Children learn about cultural phenomena of the past through their parents' memes. This exchange is valuable not only for its amusing moments, but also for a deeper understanding of each other's worldviews. Memes have become a kind of translator between generational languages, allowing people to find common ground where misunderstanding once reigned. In the digital world, memes have become not just entertainment, but a powerful tool for forming social groups. They act as peculiar markers of belonging, allowing one to instantly identify their own in the boundless ocean of the internet. This phenomenon can be compared to tribal rituals, only instead of war paint, a specific humor understood only by the initiated. Each online community forms its own mimetic language. Gamers, programmers, anime lovers, or fans of certain musical genres. All of them create unique jokes, references, and formats that serve as a password for entry into the group. Understanding these jokes becomes a sign of belonging, and their misunderstanding instantly reveals an outsider. This mechanism is surprisingly effective. A single phrase or image is enough to determine whether a person shares your cultural context. At the same time, memes perform a crucial social function. They strengthen ties within the group. When we laugh at the same joke, we experience a sense of unity based on shared experience and values. This is especially important in the digital age, when physical boundaries are blurred, but the need for belonging remains constant. Interestingly, digital tribes often intersect, creating a complex network of identities. One person can simultaneously belong to several communities, switching between different mimetic languages depending on the context. This makes modern digital culture multi-layered and incredibly dynamic. Do you remember the jokes of your childhood? Now compare them to what elicits laughter today. The difference is colossal, isn't it? Humanity's sense of humor has evolved along with technology, and social networks have become the catalyst for these changes. Traditional humor, with its clear setup, climax, resolution structure, is giving way to absurd pictures without captions, intentionally distorted photos, and random combinations of unrelated elements. What has happened to our perception of what's funny? Modern internet humor is often called, quote, it rejects conventional logic in favor of surrealism and meta-irony. We laugh not at the joke itself, but at the very idea of a joke, or at the fact that someone might find it funny. This multi-layered understanding is a characteristic feature of Gen Z's digital humor. But where did this transformation come from? In many ways, it's linked to information overload. When we consume thousands of pieces of content daily, traditional jokes start to seem predictable. The brain demands stronger stimuli, more unexpected twists. Absurdity and surrealism become a natural response to this need. At the same time, social media algorithms play a key role in shaping our sense of humor. They analyze what we laugh at and offer more and more similar content, creating highly specialized humor bubbles. This is how entire directions of digital humor are formed, understandable only to specific groups. And the deeper we delve into these bubbles, the more specific our sense of humor becomes, moving further and further away from the universally understood jokes of the past. Memes have long ceased to be mere entertainment. They are becoming a powerful educational tool, developing our brains at astonishingly deep levels. When we create or even simply understand a meme, our brain performs complex cognitive work, analyzing context, establishing connections between disparate ideas, recognizing cultural references. This is true intellectual gymnastics, training critical thinking. Educators worldwide are beginning to realize this potential. A history teacher who asks students to create a meme about the French Revolution makes them not just memorize dates and names, but deeply comprehend the historical context, identify key ideas, and present them in a creative form. Students studying complex scientific concepts through the prism of humor better absorb the material due to emotional engagement and associative connections. Memes work on the principle of metaphors. They simplify the complex, make the abstract concrete. The formula E equals mc squared may seem unfathomable, but a meme comparing it to an everyday situation creates a bridge to understanding. At the same time, creating memes also develops creative abilities. The need to condense a complex idea into a concise visual format requires original thinking and the ability to see non-obvious connections. This skill is especially valuable for a generation living in a world of information overload. The ability to highlight the main points and present them in an accessible form becomes a key competence. It is also important that memes teach media literacy. By deconstructing the structure of a meme, we learn to see how the combination of image and text creates a specific meaning, how context affects the perception of information. This is a critical skill in an era of fakes and information manipulation. Behind the smile of a meme often lies a grimace of pain. Digital humor, which unites people and generations, can become a weapon inflicting real wounds. Toxicity, trolling, and cyberbullying are the dark side of memetic culture that needs to be discussed. Why do harmless jokes turn into a tool for bullying? Psychologists note, humor is a powerful social mechanism that can both include a person in a group and exclude them from it. When a meme ridicules a specific person, it creates an asymmetric situation. Hundreds or thousands of people laugh at one, depriving them of the opportunity to respond adequately. Teenagers are especially vulnerable, for whom social acceptance is critically important. Toxic memes often masquerade as ordinary humor. "It's just a joke," is a classic excuse that allows one to avoid responsibility for the pain caused. Such a defense is especially effective in the digital space, where there is no direct emotional feedback. Without seeing tears or pain in the victim's eyes, it is easier for the aggressor to convince themselves of the harmlessness of their actions. The psychological effect is amplified by the anonymity and detachment of online communication. The person behind the screen ceases to be perceived as a real person with feelings and experiences. They become an abstract target, a digital image that can be mocked with impunity. Studies show the consequences of cyberbullying through memes can be no less destructive than traditional bullying. Victims experience anxiety, depression, and social isolation. In severe cases, this leads to serious psychological trauma and even suicidal thoughts. The situation is especially dangerous when a meme created to ridicule a specific person goes viral and extends beyond its original context. The victim finds themselves defenseless in the face of mass bullying, unable to explain themselves to each of the thousands of mockers. Memes, while uniting some, often divide others. In a world where social media algorithms dictate what we see, true information bubbles are formed, each with its own humorous language. Have you ever noticed how a joke that causes laughter in one community only evokes bewilderment in members of another? This is no accident. It's a direct consequence of digital segregation. Algorithmic recommendation systems analyze our preferences and surround us with content that reflects our existing views. As a result, closed spaces are formed where the same ideas circulate, reinforced by specific humor. Political memes become an especially illustrative example of such polarization. The same event generates diametrically opposite humorous interpretations in liberal and conservative communities. Each group laughs at its own memes, strengthening internal bonds while simultaneously intensifying alienation from opponents. The danger of this phenomenon is that memes, due to their emotional charge, can entrench stereotypes and prejudices much more effectively than rational arguments. They simplify complex social problems into primitive images, creating caricatured representations of others. Through regular consumption of such memes, we unconsciously adopt the prejudices embedded within them, which hinders constructive dialogue between different groups. Breaking out of information bubbles requires conscious effort, a willingness to understand the humor of other groups, not automatically rejecting it, and critically evaluating the memes of our own community. In a world where memes have become part of everyday communication, critical thinking becomes an essential skill. We are used to perceiving memes as harmless jokes, but behind a funny picture can lie manipulation, disinformation, or a toxic message. So, how do you learn to read memes critically? The first step is to ask questions. Who created this meme? For what purpose? What message does it actually convey? Even a simple pause before reacting allows critical thinking to kick in instead of an automatic emotional response. It's important to analyze the context. The same meme can have a completely different meaning depending on where and when it appeared. Track the source. A meme created in a satirical community carries a different meaning than the same image posted in a group with radical views. Pay attention to emotional triggers. Memes that evoke a strong emotional reaction, anger, outrage, righteous indignation, are often used for manipulation. It is precisely such content that makes us share it without thinking, sometimes spreading dubious ideas. Learn to recognize hidden stereotypes and prejudices. Many memes are built on simplifying complex social phenomena into primitive images. Ask yourself, does this joke reinforce a negative attitude towards certain groups of people? Check the facts. Memes often contain statements presented as common knowledge. If a meme refers to statistics, research, or events, don't be lazy to check the information from reliable sources. Remember the existence of deep fakes and altered images. Modern technologies allow for the creation of convincing fakes, and not all of them are easy to recognize with the naked eye. How can a parent build a dialogue with their child about memes? Start with genuine interest. Instead of condemning incomprehensible jokes, ask, "Tell me, why is this funny?" This approach creates a safe space where the child feels their digital experience is respected. It's important to remember, the goal isn't to control, but to understand and guide. Regularly look at memes together with your children. This not only brings you closer, but also provides an opportunity to discuss hidden meanings. What do you think the author wanted to say with this joke? Such questions naturally develop critical thinking. Teach your child to ask themselves 3 key questions before sharing a meme. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? A simple mnemonic technique can help filter potentially harmful content. Discuss the boundaries of humor with your children. Explain the difference between a joke that unites and a taunt that hurts. Use concrete examples. See, this meme ridicules a situation, not a specific person. Help your child understand that behind every meme is a real person who created it, and real people whom it can affect. Develop empathy through humor, not in spite of it. Digital humor can become not a problem, but a tool for upbringing, if approached consciously and with an open heart. Memes are not just digital jokes, but also a powerful tool for developing emotional intelligence. When we laugh at a meme, we often unconsciously train our ability to understand others' emotions and perspectives on the world. Think about it. To truly appreciate humorous content, we need to, even for a moment, put ourselves in another person's shoes. This digital empathy works at a surprisingly deep level. Research shows that regular interaction with diverse memes helps people better recognize the emotional states of those around them, both online and in real life. This effect is especially valuable for teenagers, whose emotional intelligence is in an active stage of formation. Memes create a safe environment for discussing complex emotional states. When a direct conversation about anxiety, depression, or social awkwardness seems too difficult, the humorous format makes these topics accessible. We laugh at a meme about social anxiety and suddenly realize we are not alone in our experiences. This moment of recognition creates an invisible bond between people with similar experiences. Parents can use memes as a bridge to their children's emotional world. A joke found in a child's feed can become a starting point for a conversation about feelings that would otherwise remain unexpressed. It is important to remember, digital empathy is a skill that requires practice and awareness. What awaits us in the future of digital humor? The memes we know today are constantly evolving, and the pace of these changes is only accelerating. Artificial intelligence is already creating its own jokes, algorithmically analyzing trends and patterns of human humor. We stand on the threshold of an era where the boundaries between human and machine creativity are becoming increasingly blurred. Interactive memes, augmented reality, and neuro interfaces. All of this could become part of tomorrow's digital humor. Many experts predict the emergence of fully personalized humorous content, adapting to the individual experience and psychological profile of each user. However, amidst these technological innovations, it is important not to lose the human dimension. Humor is first and foremost a way of connecting people, a tool that helps us cope with life's complexities and find common ground with each other. In a world of increasing digitalization, memes serve as emotional anchors, reminding us of our shared humanity. They help us make sense of complex social problems, overcome barriers between generations and cultures, and develop critical thinking and emotional intelligence. The future of digital humor is not just about technology, but also our collective choice. Whether to use this powerful form of communication for unity or division, for development or degradation, for empathy or alienation. In our hands lies the opportunity to make memes a tool for building a more understanding, critically thinking, and emotionally intelligent society.